What's to do, YouTube? It's Holy One, and today I'm going to be discussing why I believe that this generation of console gaming has by far been the worst, and that the rise and fall of console gaming this generation has been accelerated on PC, as PC gaming has just gotten way better this generation than it's ever been. So let's do this comparison video. So let's start off with how this generation started off. So as I'm sure you guys are aware, last generation developers were getting very lazy. They were testing out the waters with these DLCs and Call of Duty and these little microtransactions here or there. They tested the waters, and a lot of gamers went out and supported these practices. So when this generation of consoles came out, they went in full force. I don't even have to narrate that. You know, the consoles came out underpowered, whereas the previous generation, they weren't underpowered. So not only were games not even reaching 1080p, which at this point was the standard back in 2013, both on pretty much on PC, and consoles should have been up to that. Games were launching at 900p, 720p. It was pretty bad. Like consoles last generation were, the standard for them was 720p. And then you get over to developers releasing these games now with microtransactions, which are now becoming a national issue for governments, where they have to ban these because of loot boxes. Look at the failures of Overwatch enabling them, and Star Wars Battlefront 2, the disaster that was. Despite Battlefront 2 having these microtransactions, gamers still went out and bought that game, and it still sold like 9 million copies. So why do you think EA is still developing these practices? So when this console started, Microsoft and Nintendo blew their shins off. The Wii U launched, had no games, terrible marketing, and Nintendo was just putting out these, Mario 3D World, which could not even compare to Mario Galaxy. Because let's be real, the Wii U is the 8th gen console for Nintendo. The only good new IP that they really had was Splatoon, and the only redefining game that they had that they released was Pikmin 3. Like, that was it. Like, the Wii U was probably their worst when it came to first party releases. And they literally ended the generations 4 years into the Wii U. They just dropped the console because it was that bad. Like, it was that bad. Then you had Microsoft releasing the Xbox One with all these DRM policies. You want to have physical games. The point of a console is to have the physical game idea. Like, PC gamers were used to this digital DRM stuff, but console gamers, they weren't even ready for that. And the way Microsoft was doing it was even worse than how Steam would do it, where if you didn't connect every 24 hours, you couldn't even play your games. Where on PC, if I off Steam for a week or a month, I can still play my games. And then Microsoft, X-Twats would be like, Microsoft had the best first-party lineup compared to PlayStation. All their exclusives at launch were from either second or third parties. Microsoft didn't even own any of these games. Whether it was Titanfall, Dead Rising, or Rise on Rome, these were all third-party deals. And then after Microsoft was taking such a loss on the Xbox, they got rid of the Kinect. And the same year they got rid of the Kinect, they announced that all their exclusives would be going to PC. Even though most of their exclusive launched broken on the Windows Store. But it was still, a benefit for PC gaming. PC gaming was becoming more easier to get into. You could get all the third parties now. All third-party developers wanted to bring their games over. PC games were getting cheaper. More casuals were able to get this in there. I know the Steam machines were a flop, but that wasn't really catered toward the casuals or anything. More celebrities are getting into PC gaming, like Snoop Dogg. He doesn't even want to play on consoles anymore. You have Post Malone, who literally just got rid of his consoles because he was tired of 7th gen consoles. He got a PC built by Jay's 2 cents. You also have the Spice Guy, Terry Crews, getting into PC gaming. The dude literally markets Crackdown 3 for Xbox, yet he doesn't even play on Xbox. He prefers PC. I don't know. It's just weird. So Microsoft went that route. They're like, they're like, we're not going to do third-party deals anymore. That's why they don't really have any exclusives anymore. And yeah, they're just like, let's bring our games to PC and make services on Xbox, which PC gamers get another benefit that console gamers don't. They don't have to pay for Xbox Live. They can play those games online for free at 60 frames per second or higher. So, yeah, Microsoft pretty much gave up on this generation as well. Even though they released stronger hardware, it was still using, the terrible CPU and all that stuff. Then you have Sony. Sony's first 2 years on the market were pretty much, they didn't really have many games. Then they launched with Bloodborne, and then they started pumping out, more exclusives here and there. They didn't really have too many exclusives that here and there. And I'm sure people are going to be like, well, John, they have fantastic Japanese game support. Look at Yakuza and Ni no Kuni 2 and Nier Automata and Neo and all these great, amazing JRPGs. And I'd be like, yeah, those games are on PC now. So PC gamers are getting a ton more third parties this generation, which is awesome. And they're pretty much PC gaming is now getting more Japanese games than PlayStation is. And you're probably going to be like, well, why is that, John? That doesn't make sense. Holy One, why is that? What do you mean? So, what happens is now that we're 5 years into the generation, Sony has moved their main base of headquarters over to California. That's where they moved Sony Entertainment now. And they're censoring Japanese games, like the Senran Kagura games and some visual novels. So, these visual novels and Senran Kagura games are literally skipping Sony and going right to the PC. So, yeah, and I'm sure you're going to say, what about the Nintendo Switch? That's a 9th generation console. We're not including this in this debate that we're talking about right here. So, Sony has had huge sales success. Their sales will probably reach the PS1 sales, which it's no surprise. I mean, what does the consumer have? They have the choice of either getting a Wii U, which nobody bought. Then they have the choice of getting the Xbox One, which had this terrible stigma around it, which means people mostly picked the PS4 because Sony had no competition because the Wii U flopped and the Xbox One was at best. So yeah, this generation was just bad. Now let's get into the games. The games are what we all find important. So I knew this generation developers were going to try to nickel and dime us even more, and they sure as hell did. I remember playing the old Call of Duties like Modern Warfare 3, and I was like, yeah, Call of Duty Ghosts, I see where the downward spiral is going with the quality control of these games. So this gets into the whole early access game scene that came into place. PUBG, for example. The game comes out, early access. It's been, a year and a half since it's been out, and it's still broken and buggy, and you have other early access games that do this. Like Fallout 76 should have been in early access. You're paying $60 for an alpha. People weren't complaining about how Fallout 4 or Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas had these bugs. These Fallout damage control fanboys came out and said, it's okay, we're going to defend it. And you apologists are the reason these companies are releasing these broken-ass games. Halo the Master Chief Collection, that release completely broken, and it took 4 years. 4 years for them to finally say, yes, the game is good and it works. That is insane. That is insane. And on top of getting broken games, early access games, like No Man's Sky and all this other stuff, we're now getting way more DLCs. I'll give an example. Destiny 2. Bungie used to be the love child. Ever since they finished Halo Reach, their games have been crap. Like, if you wanted to get into either Destiny 1, which had $110 in so-called expansions, which were on-disc DLC, or Destiny 2, which has $200 in so-called expansions. I remember back in the day when I played StarCraft 1, when an expansion released, it was an expansion, a game that released with, like, it was a whole new gaming experience. Or The Witcher 3, like, it came out with an expansion, it was an actual expansion. Now they're just like, it's on-disc DLC, here's the game. Yeah, it's broken. Luckily, PC Gamers has voiced their opinions on such issues. I'm going to give you an example. Paid mods. Bethesda teamed up with Steam and demanded that we, the PC Gamers, pay them on Steam for mods. And you know what PC Gamers did? PC Gamers tore Steam and this mod program a new asshole. Literally, within a week and a half, Steam was like, oh my god, we're dropping this paid mod thing. It didn't make Bethesda happy, so yeah, Bethesda was like, damn it, we can't charge them for paid mods. We'll just do it on Fallout 4, steal these rights for these guys, and do that. And they'd use Fallout 4 as a testing ground. They're like, all right, let's bring these mods to consoles. And console gamers were buying these mods that PC gamers had for free. And then Bethesda's like, look, these console idiots are buying these mods on Fallout 4. Which brings us to Fallout 76, which they took off of Steam entirely. And PC gamers had to go through this Bethesda app, which was a complete disaster, which nobody supported. And now you have to pay for mods and microtransactions on that game. So you can see where all this went wrong. And another example of a broken game on consoles and PC, Arkham Knight. The infamous Arkham Knight that brought Steam its glorious refunding of digital games. My God. If I was mad about a broken game coming out on PC, it wouldn't be this game. This game ran like crap on consoles, and it was completely broken on PC to the point they had to remove it off the store because PC gamers were complaining all over everything. Steam forums, everything. And they had to refund. The Steam was like, all right, we're gonna have to invoke a refund policy because we can't have this go on again. So when they released their refund policy, Steam released their refund policy in 2015. Origin followed suit. So if you get games on Origin, they'll refund you as well. I think Origin's refund policy is a bit better than Steam. I think there's like you can play the game for like 4 hours longer, but still. Thanks to PC gaming, we have digital refunds. Consoles still don't. I know Xbox are like, well, Xbox does, and I'm like, no, it only in certain regions. Here in America, I still don't get a digital refund. So yeah. Neither does the Switch. Neither did the Wii U, and nor did the PlayStation 4 have a digital refund system. like I call the Xbox One, I just call it the retarded stepchild of PC gaming at this point because that's what it is. All right, and then we come to the genres of the of this generation. Fighting games have gone downhill since this generation started. Look at Street Fighter V. It released with broken servers for 2 weeks and only 16 fighters. Only 16 fighters! And they're like, oh, you can pay the rest of the fighters that come out as DLC. Super Smash Brothers that's coming out next month has 75 fighters you can use. Heck, old fighters used to play like Soul Calibur 2. They had like 30 fighters. They're just releasing these fighter games and they're like, chill out for the season pass. They only give you like additional maybe 4 fighters. That's it. And these fighting games are becoming uber casual. Like, you know, Dragon Ball Fighter Z has some casual mechanics around it. Soul Calibur 6 is becoming more casual. Street Fighter 5 is still casual. Tekken's still kind of hardcore. But fighting games this generation have tanked. They've just gone downhill. And let's not begin with shooters. Shooters have just died this generation. They are not even as good as compared to last generation. If you look at the sequels compared to this generation. Bungie, who made the amazing Halo 3, Halo ODST, Reach, all these amazing games, released these terrible Destiny 1 and 2 grind fests. Oh, John, that's Activision's fault releasing them. Call of Duty, the same crap year after year after year after year, and people still buy it. Black Ops 4 releasing with no campaign whatsoever, and then charging you for microtransactions weeks later. Like, shooter genre just went downhill. The only genre I can say that was good this generation are JRPGs. That's the only thing that's really good this generation. Games like Nier, Ni no Kuni 2, Bloodborne, Dark Souls. Like, those games are still amazing. So, JRPGs are still there. You know, there's some Western RPGs that are still good. But Dragon Age Inquisition was not amazing. Mass Effect Andromeda. That's kind of a third-person game. That game was not amazing either. So, aside from these broken mess games, consoles and weak consoles that, you know, these companies are like, tee, let's nickel and dime them. Since these guys don't like PC gaming, let's release these mid-gen consoles. Oh wait, they're still using hardware from like 4 years ago. Let's charge them $500 and $400 for it, even though the next generation is going to start 2 years after they release them. So, you're paying like $1,500 for damn hardware, and not even getting games. The only games you're getting this generation are remastered reports of old games from last generation. Yes, I know there's some new games here and there like God of War and Spider-Man and whatever, but I feel like we got way more new games last generation. Whereas on PC, you're getting amazing new games like BattleTech, StarCraft 2, The Witcher 3, all these amazing games. Divinity 2, Pillars of Eternity. You're just getting these amazing new game experiences. You're getting games like Cuphead and all these other sorts of things. They're just like really amazing experiences. Not to mention PC hardware. I know there was the whole crypto mining fiasco, but I feel like NVIDIA's 10 series has been the best like GPUs ever to be released on the market. I know the new 20 series that just came out like a couple months now, just released is kind of crap, but I'm not really looking at that. That's too recent. But the 10 series was just amazing. Like, you get the 1080 Ti. That thing was a beast, and it still is a beast. That thing's probably going to be good for another 2 years or so. So yeah, the PC hardware has been really good. Getting into PC gaming is more easier. Everything's more streamlined now. If you could just install a NVIDIA graphics card and the games will just automatically optimize for you in the settings. Like, you don't even need to go in the graphical settings anymore. Like, PC gaming has become that easier. Like, you just plug in a controller and go. Like, I know people say, well, PC gaming is too difficult. You know, the whole myths about PC gaming. But I've seen less problems with PC gaming on Windows Vista than back then. Whereas on consoles, you're just getting a cut-down version, a more restricted version, and all these games are running at sub-HD at like 20 frames per second. It's unacceptable. Like, it's just unacceptable, man. Like, PC gaming has been thriving. Literally, PC users have increased this generation like 3 times more than they were last generation. Like, Steam went from like, I think like 112 million users last generation, at the start of last generation, from like 2008 to now, there's like over 200 million Steam users. So, I mean, yes, there's occasional games that release here and there, like Mafia 3 released with a 30 frames per second cap, but PC gamers vocalized their opinion about it, and they got the 60 frames per second version immediately. So, if there's an issue on a PC game, like when Monster Hunter World released, that game had I had no problems running the game, but PC gamers were like, yo, Capcom, fix your shitty servers. Capcom's like, alright guys, we're updating our servers right now. And they released their server patch and they fixed everything now. There were hackers running rapid in Monster Hunter World. So Capcom not only is working on an anti-cheat system, they're sending emails out to these cheat websites and saying, hey, take your cheats down for our game. So, you know, people like to say, well, John, hackers are rampant on PC. I have never seen a hacker. Like, if you hack on PC, there's anti-cheat measures on Steam and Blizzard. Like, if you cheat on PC, you'll be banned from the game permanently on Steam. And even worse on Blizzard, if you cheat on that game, your account is permanently banned for life. And I've seen a lot of hackers on PS3 back in the day and on PS4 with these save editors. Like, people are using save editors on the console. So, yeah, PC gaming, I think, has been thriving. The hardware's getting cheaper. The hardware's getting better. You're getting more bang for your buck on PC than compared to the consoles where you have to buy, like, 3 different systems. It's just been ridiculous. Like the Wii U, the Xbox One, they shot their calves off, and Sony didn't have any competition. So, I feel like this was like a 5.1 generation. Like, it was a 7.5 generation. It wasn't really a full leap. Like, yeah, like I was saying when this generation was launching, I was like, this generation is not going to be as great as it should be. For PC gaming, it's been amazing. I've been having a great ride. So, that's my thought, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. This is your boy, Holy One. Out!